Welcome everyone, I'm Biscuit Fister, charity team lead here with the rest of my team. We visited the Center Orlando to gain insight on their mission and speak to the team behind the center. So with that, introduce yourselves and your position here at the Center Orlando.
Hi, my name is Nicole Parker, Chief Operating Officer.
I'm Amanda Spradlin. I'm Chief Development Officer for the Center.
I am George Wallace, and I am the CEO.
And I'm Marshall Turner, the Chief Administrative Officer.
Do you have any ongoing or developing projects that Furality might be able to help with this year?
Oh, there's so many. We always have something going on. We finished a really large renovation, and I don't know, luck, bad luck, I don't know, our luck. And we had a hurricane hit a couple of weeks after the renovation. So new carpet got wet, ceiling fell down. So there's always ongoing stuff that either needs to be repaired or fixed, and lightning hit the building and knocked out the AC. So, we have other grants out there. We're hoping to get that fixed, but emergency funding for things like that, because our building is from 1953 and she's starting to show her age.
Do you accept support in ways other than monetary donation, such as canned goods, clothing, or volunteering?
Absolutely. So our Pride Pantry is primarily done through donations. So anything non-perishable, canned goods. We also pride ourselves on having personal hygiene, household cleaning, and pet supplies. Trying to cover as many of the personal home effects as we can. And we have huge amounts of donations from that. And we are also almost entirely volunteer supported. We're a staff of 15 for 3 offices in 2 counties. Everything else we're doing is we're able to do because of volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
So how has the Center Orlando and your mission evolved since the center first started?
So when we first started in 1978, nearly 50 years ago, there were no brick and mortar, and it was a social meetup, and it was primarily for gay men. So then it changed to Gay and Lesbian Center, and then morphed and changed, and with the AIDS crisis of the 1980s, we opened our first brick and mortar, and we purchased the building here on Mills in 1999. And from there, we have morphed and we've changed. And one of the great things about our organization, and I'm so proud of, is that we pivot to meet the community needs. So during COVID, we created new programming. So we're constantly changing and have been a mainstay for, like I said, 50 years.
Are there any stories from the Center Orlando that have personally impacted you?
So there's a story for me. When I was on the board, there was a parent that reached out to us who has a trans kid and wanted to create a safe space for them. So we created a support group around that. And I'll never forget, when I was facilitating, there was an individual who came in with his grandmother, and I got to speak to his grandmother, and they were living in an RV. And somehow they saw the flyer for here and were able to come to the meeting. And watching him was incredible. And at the very end, he came up to me and started crying. And I didn't know if something happened. And I was like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "This was the first time I saw people like me." And I think that's just a testament to the safe space that the center creates for people. Especially imagine being a kid. We were all a kid feeling scared and like we weren't accepted. And that was the moment that he knew that he wasn't alone. So that's a story that always sticks with me.
I think my personal story would be one of our case management clients. So one of the programs that the center offers is personalized case management. So our case managers will walk along with individuals and help them with a variety of different things. But I remember one of our case managers came to me and said that there was a gentleman that had actually just lost his lifetime partner. His husband died, but he had been with him for 30, to 35 years. And this individual was also legally blind. So he was completely lost in the world. He didn't know how to go grocery shopping because his husband had helped him. So our case manager really stepped up and actually drove him to doctor's appointments, helped him go grocery shopping. We also helped him with food insecurity through our Pride Pantry program. And then we've helped him since then. So that to me has been like kind of a testament of like what the center does. We're just here to meet whatever need there might be in the community and continue to support people.
For me, being out in the community as much as I am, it never fails that at least once or twice a month someone will say, hey, are you George from the center? And they all have stories about how the center has helped them, or a fun story about a group. But I have had people come up to me and pull me aside and say, I just want to let you know that the center saved my life. And to me, that is so impactful, because people say, why do you do what you do? And it could be 100, but it doesn't matter. I know that the center has saved a life. And to me, that just, it is so impactful for me and kind of gives me chills.
Makes my story seem small. So I oversaw the volunteer program for a very long time. That's how I started as a volunteer here. That was my first paid position on the staff. I've loved over my time here seeing people come to volunteer looking to learn how to be a better ally, that have had children or family disclose their gender identity or their sexual orientation to them, and the center was the first place that they thought of I need to know how to support this important person in my life. Can you help me understand that I feel like being in your space will help me better myself and better my relationship? So watching people grow over their time here has always been really rewarding.
Did you know anything about the furry fandom before last year?
I personally didn't. I don't think I knew much, but then now that I've researched, I'm obsessed. I think it's incredible, the space that you all create for people to just be creative and be themselves.
So I actually grew up kind of going to pop culture conventions, sci-fi conventions, fantasy conventions. So I have actually heard of the furry community for a long time, probably since I was in my teens. So though I have never partaked myself, I completely understand. And honestly, even in those conventions and having the furry spaces, the safe spaces there, I could see how unique that was, and also how affirming those spaces were. Sometimes in the nerd community, I love that we can kind of connect and we all feel like we fit in. And sometimes I think that's like the magic of those. So I can understand in the furry community that would be, what everybody's looking for.
I knew just enough to get me in trouble.
Oh my gosh.
I come from a theater background and before I came to the center, I was an executive director of a very large theater festival, and it was an international festival, and there were actually a show that came in from, I believe, maybe Scotland, and they asked me if there was a furry community. And upon Googling, I got back to them, and so I learned a little bit more. But yeah, I just think it's just kind of the coolest thing.
When I first moved to Florida in 2004, I moved here to work for one of the larger theme parks in entertainment, and knew of one person in that department that was comfortable and disclosed themselves as being a furry. And at the time, I couldn't disconnect what we're doing, dressing up as these world famous characters, and what you're doing. Didn't get it. Over the years, having met more and more people in the community and seeing the individuality and the personality that comes through in the personas, I'm just enthralled with it. And it's just amazing.
Is there any message you'd like to share with the guests of Furality Somna?
I would just say thank you. Thank you for thinking of us. us. You know, in a world that seems to be attacking the LGBTQ plus community, we're so thankful that there are individuals who stand firm with us and let us know that we are human and we are okay and we deserve to have safe spaces. So thank you so much for thinking of us.
And to piggyback off that, 100% thank you so much. We really appreciate the support. I also love that you also create a unique space for your own individuals and the people that come to Furality. So we kind of emulate the same needs. And so I think that's what we just want to say thank you, and we're here with you.
Yeah, so a year ago when Furality reached out, I really didn't know anything about the convention and what was going on. And then we partnered. And I say partner because it's more than just someone giving us money. So throughout the year, I've seen people from Furality come to our events and came to some unveilings of some gift initiatives that we've had. And I'm thankful for that, to be a bigger part of a larger community that's even bigger than us in the room and even bigger than Orlando. It's people from all over the world that we're able to sit and tell our story to. And without Furality, that wouldn't be possible. So a huge thank you to everyone watching us right now.
Thank you to Furality Somna. We hope you enjoyed the conference. We look forward to seeing the clips and the photo galleries. I took some time after Furality Umbra last year. It looked like such an amazing, incredible convention. I can't wait to see what comes out of this year. And we look forward to our future relationship with Furality.